I need to confess something. I have not been fully disclosing what's happening to you as a channel here, and I think part of that's out of embarrassment, part of it's out of fear. Welcome my friends, Seven Gray here. Today is the last day of the Colorado Van Life Gathering. I'm serving tea from 9 until noon today. Then they have a swap meet going on. Yoga today at 10 till 11 over by the river. I won't be able to attend that. So it's going to be a busy day. I need to confess something. I have not been fully disclosing what's happening to you as a channel here, and I think part of that's out of embarrassment, part of it's out of fear. But I've been having some mechanical issues with my step van that are a little bit terrifying and concerning to me. Really caused a lot of panic for me over the last few days. Been having some brake problems. My brakes completely went out as I was coming down a mountain pass. Terrified me, scared me to death. And what happened was the brake pedal, as I would push down, would just go all the way to the floor. And then I noticed as I could pump it, it would pop back up and I would have some brakes. So I did manage to get down here, but it's just daunting. I didn't know what to do. I'm trying to come here, serve tea. I've made a commitment for the weekend, and it's been terrifying to me. Anyway, what happened was I met with a mechanic here who happens to be at the Van Fest, and he looked at my brake fluid and it's completely black, and he said probably what happened was it boiled and it's destroyed the, I don't know, the texture, the chemical balance of the brake fluid. So that is probably what has been causing all these problems. So today, while I'm serving tea, Tom's going to be helping me out and swapping out the brake fluid. I'm going to try to assist where I can, but I'm serving tea, so it's a difficult situation for me, and I'm very, very grateful for him offering to help me out. A new guy, I just met him. I don't really know much about him, but appreciate his concern, and his heart is in the right place and trying to help me out. I'm so thankful for that. I've got my sign set out. I've got tea up here I'm going to be serving, and you can hear it's boiling inside. I'm serving two teas. I'm serving the Celestial Seasoning Cinnamon Apple Spice. I did take a tour of this Celestial Seasoning factory. I'll link that episode above. That was a really fascinating experience. So I've got that in here in this small teapot. And over here in this teapot, which was donated by Giuseppe to me, I have Balm for the Blues tea over here, which is lavender, rosemary, lemon balm, and spearmint leaves. So this is a really, really nice tea. And I've got that steeping here. And then I have some stickers I'm giving away, and all my teacups here. And I'm giving away some darts that my sister had given me. Maybe somebody wants that. I decided I'm not going to hold on to that. We have lots of people here enjoying tea this morning. Last day of the event. I think everybody wants to get their tea. We have a lot of people over here wearing pajamas, which is sort of cool. They walk around in the onesie pajama outfits last night and this morning. Go ahead, and this is Kathleen. Please tell us about your event here.
Yeah, so this is the Colorado Van Life Gathering. We're here in Basalt, Colorado. We had around 250 to 300 people here throughout the weekend coming and going. And it's been a really great event. This tea is awesome. And we also have Carabiner coffee, and we have a bunch of other activities and events going on.
So next up is yoga, right?
Next up is yoga. We're also doing a swap meet later today. Mm-hmm. And after everyone leaves, Taos is the next event.
So any of you want to go to another event like this? Taos, New Mexico is the next one, and then you're going back east somewhere?
Yeah, I'm going to help out with an event in Asheville September 21st through 23rd.
Okay, so there's an upcoming events. I'll put a link in the description below so you can see all the upcoming events for the Van Gathering group. While I've been serving tea this morning, a fellow van dweller here, Tom, has been helping me out. And so Tom has been working on the brakes. I feel really guilty about not assisting and getting involved because I truly want to learn how to do this and maintain my own vehicle. And he stepped in and he looked at my issue and figured out when the brakes were not working, and he figured out that it was the brake fluid that had been boiled and gone from clear, which is the way it should look, to looking really nasty.
Yeah, so the fluid had boiled over and it turns to a darker color when it boils. and after it boils, the calipers aren't able to compress the fluid in a hydraulic system as much as it normally should. So you get a little brake fade coming down the mountain. So what we did was start at the back of the vehicle, and there's a bleed screw on the back of a caliper, and you remove that a little bit just to crack it loose and let most of the brake fluid come out. And once it's mostly out, you top it off with a new brake fluid and get it a good flush. So there's all new brake fluid in a system, and you work your way around from the furthest point from the master cylinder all the way around the vehicle till you get to the closest point. And that's the best way to flush the system, and hopefully 7 will be set to go down the hill now.
And I can't express how thankful I am, number one, for the help from Tom, but also that stress factor of having brakes fail or not work properly as you're going down a mountain pass here in Colorado. So this is a huge relief for me. I feel so absolutely grateful. Thank you so much, Tom, for all your help. I really, really appreciate it. It's the afternoon now. They just had the swap meet. Not as successful as the one that they had up in Idaho. Not as many people in it. But this event is wrapping up. People are saying goodbyes, packing up, and hitting the road. Speaking of which, I think I'll probably take a nap and hit the road myself. Well, unfortunately, I left the van gathering in Basalt, and 20 minutes later, the brakes and the power steering did not work while I was trying to stop. So I think this is the third time that this has happened, and basically it happens when I'm coming to a stop. So I'm just moving maybe 3 or 4 miles an hour, and the RPMs are extremely low, and after the engine is warmed up. So I'm not exactly sure what is causing this, but obviously it didn't fix it with the help that I had today from Tom going through and doing a flush and putting new brake fluid in. I made a telephone call to my friend Steve in Denver, and he seems to think that it's probably the master cylinder, although from some of my research it might be the power assist, the hydraulic power assist unit that I think actually controls both the brakes and the power steering. So that's a possibility too. I've decided to drive up to Silverthorne. It's uphill, so I'm not dealing with any downhill things except for just a couple of areas. 9,000 feet, so it's fairly cool. Down in Basalt it was in the high 80s, Glenwood Springs in the mid 90s. Just way too hot for me with no air conditioning. So I came up here to Silverthorne. I looked and found there's a dealer, a Freightliner shop that'll work on my step van. There's actually pictures of step vans on the website. So I'm going to give them a call in the morning and see if I can get some price quotes, get some ideas. I'm not sure if I'm going to go that route and get a professional mechanic to take care of it, or if I'm brave enough, drive down into Denver or into Colorado Springs and hit up some of my friends for some help and try to learn how to do it myself and order the part, and with the help of a friend, try to get it repaired. So we're going to try to make a decision tomorrow based on the quotes I get and some of the feedback I get from my friends. I want to tag on an explanation at the end of this video of basically what happened after arriving in Silverthorne in the evening. Basically, I woke up the next morning and I had parked near the mechanic to try to get a quote from them on doing the power steering pump and repairs to the step van. And it looked like they worked on step vans from the photo on their website on Google. And they basically told me they're a towing company and they're not really set up to do work on my step van like that. So I made some more phone calls, and it looks like I actually have to try to figure out a way to go down to Denver or get someone to bring a part up here and work on it. So the step van has been sort of working okay today for the brakes and the power steering. And I'm going to, I guess, take a gamble and try to drive really, really slow and careful and use my emergency hazard lights and drive in low gear and just try to do the best I can and drive down into Denver. I'm going to order a part there, and I'll try to get some help from a friend and a place to do this repair over the next few days. So anyway, that's the latest update. You'll have to see in a future video what actually happens and how that repair goes. That's all I have for this episode. Thank you for watching. Savor the moment. See you next episode.